off because the class is going to go probably for like an hour and 15 minutes. So if you do have to pop off, I am recording this. So if you have to miss the meditation, don't worry. I'll send you all the recordings so that you can get the meditation. Speaking of meditation, during the meditation, you can be in a lying down position. That's totally fine. If you prefer to be in a seated position, I find that choosing a block blanket and maybe even bringing yourself to a wall, like propping yourself up against the wall, that can be really helpful because sometimes in a seated position in meditation, it can get a little uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable, of course, can be rather distracting. So you might want to have some of those handy. If you don't have blocks today, that's all right. Our practice is probably not going to be needing any blocks today. But if you have a towel or a blanket that you can fold up and sit on, that might be more comfortable for you when we do get to the meditation part, or starting even now when we have the beginning of the class. So with that said, for the beginning of the class, if you prefer to start from a lying down position, please feel free to do so. And if it is cool in your space, please make sure that you have a sweater, sweatshirt, towel, blanket, something to put on you, around you, not just for the warmth, but also kind of for the comfort. So regardless of, well, it's sort of, this kind of crazy time. We're coming to the end of this year of 2020. And so early this morning, I had in my mind that I just really wanted to share some gratitude with especially all of you who have been taking class from me since March online, and how grateful I am that you all have helped me have a focus and have a purpose, which are, if you know my personality, those are really important things for me. Of course, the fact that so many of you have also generously donated so much so that I can continue to live. So I really was just kind of feeling a lot of gratitude, and it's the end of the holiday season, beginning of the new year. And I just wanted to express some of that. And I thought it might be fun to share some of that gratitude together. So here we are. And I'm very grateful that you're here. So start now to find the space that feels really comfortable for you. And that could be lying down. And if you are lying down, choose a lying down position that feels nice for you, that you feel supported with. Once again, maybe blanket or towel behind your head or wrapped around you. Your legs might be long or your knees might be bent. If you're in a seated position and you have a towel or a blanket or blocks, you might prefer to sit on them. You might, once again, prefer to be sitting up against the wall if that feels more comfortable, because we're going to sit here for a little bit. We're going to lie here, whatever it is that you're doing. Allow your eyes to close. Let your gaze soften down. Notice sounds and movements and vibrations that are going on around you, whether they're coming from another human, a quadruped, sounds from outside, smells from cooking or leftovers. Whatever it is that you're noticing right now that isn't really part of you physically, but it is a part of us universally. So whatever it is that's going on for you around you is part of you, just like you are part of it. And start to notice any small movements that you feel you need to make in this position. Whether you're lying down and you just want to shrug your shoulders or rock your head gently. If you're in a seated position, you might do some rocking, you might do some seated cow and cat, you might roll the shoulders around, you might rotate at the neck. Anything that really helps you just to begin to feel more connected to your own experience, your own physical body, your own sensations, your heart, your mind, your soul. Not to get too hippy dippy here, but just really getting into yourself, because over the last couple of weeks, you all have probably been busy doing things, even if it hasn't been with other people. Maybe it's been on Zoom, maybe it's been whatever, but it's definitely been a little more excitement, and probably we've eaten more things than we normally eat, which is fine, by the way, et cetera, et cetera. Then begin to start to check in with your breath. And let's start first with 3 breaths in, deep breaths in, and big exhale with a wide open sigh, like that, right? So we'll take 3 of those. Breath in. Breath in. Breath in. Let those 3 breaths kind of resonate. Like, how does that feel? Do you feel different at all from before you did that? And as you begin to assess that, notice how you're breathing since those breaths. Does it feel easier to breathe now? Does it feel lighter to be in your body right now? And if it doesn't, that's okay. Start to breathe more consciously with more awareness through the nose. And if possible, exhale through the nose. Breathing in, breathing out. Breath in, breath out. And as you continue to breathe this way, think of something. Don't go thinking too far. Think of one thing that you can point to in this last year that you are grateful for. As I said, don't go too far. I know some of you had grandchildren, some of you got a dog, some of you didn't lose your job. There's something out there, right? In a year full of madness, we can still point to at least one thing that we're grateful for. And for this practice this evening, I'd like to offer for us to breathe in gratitude. That each breath that we take, each move that we move through, we can move and breathe through gratitude. Even for the most mundane of things. Gratitude for food, which I don't think is mundane. Gratitude for a place to sleep. Gratitude for the warmth of a cat on your lap. When we really stop to think of it, there's so many things to be grateful for, even in a challenging year. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling, exhaling. Breath in, breath out. If you'd like to just hold your hands by your side, or maybe even bring your hands in front of your heart, we're going to start with the sound of Om Chanting 3 times. Please feel free to join in or just listen. Taking an easy breath in to start. Let your hands rest again by your side if you're lying down or on your body. And if you're in a seated position, just return your hands, if they aren't already there, back to your lap. With your eyes closed or your gaze soft, try to imagine yourself here. Imagine that you are sitting perhaps somewhere in a corner by your side, or maybe even in front of yourself, and you're looking at yourself sitting here or lying here on your yoga mat. And as you look to yourself, take in everything that you notice and begin to soften your gaze. Appreciate yourself. Notice the things that you really like about yourself. Physical appearance, your hair or your shoulders, or whatever it is that you find that you're pleased with about yourself. And start to look a little bit deeper and start to think about what it is that you like about yourself on a deeper level. The kindness that you are, the caring, the intelligence, the insightful. Whatever it is that comes to mind as you are sitting in front or to the side, looking at yourself on the yoga mat. Stay present with your breath as you continue to hold this, witnessing yourself on the mat. And if you find it difficult to conjure anything, think of yourself as a younger version of yourself, perhaps as a 5-year-old. And little 5-year-old you is sitting on this yoga mat, and you just want to infuse that little 5-year-old you with all of the kindness and caring and sweetness and gentleness that you might want in your life. And start to notice once again how you are breathing, and think about the thing that you brought into your practice from the very beginning about gratitude, what it is that you are grateful for, and start to take longer breaths in. And if it's helpful, use the breath word gratitude as you breathe in. I am grateful. And as you exhale, repeat it. I am grateful. For whatever it is that you are grateful for. I'm grateful for this breath. Grateful for this exhale. Grateful for my resilience. Grateful for the support that I have. Let your chin drop down towards your collarbone. So if you are lying down, just gently tuck your chin in. Feel the length of the neck as it goes down into the shoulders and shoulder blades. Breathing in and breathing out. Long inhales through the nose if possible. Long exhales through the nose if possible. Start to gently lift your chin. So if you are lying down, you can start to reach the back of your head closer to your shoulders as you lift your chin in the direction of where the top of your head was. And if you're sitting, just lifting that chin up and start to feel that length going down the front of the throat as you continue to breathe in and breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. And let your chin come back into neutral place. And whether you're lying down or sitting up, feel the length from the top of your head. Try to create a little more length from the top of your head all the way to the base of your seat or towards the heels of your feet if you're lying down. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly turn your chin to the right side and hold here, breathe here. And as you exhale, slowly turn your chin to the left side, hold here and breathe. Come back into the center. And if you aren't already, find your way now into a lying down position. And I can assure you that Cipollino will come and lie down on me, and I will be grateful for that. So as you come down to the floor, lying down, bring your arms alongside your body. And slowly inhale and sweep your arms out to the side and lift them overhead. So if you have the space on the floor, just glide your arms along the floor. And then as you exhale, slowly bring the arms back by your side. You can do this with your knees bent or with your legs long as you inhale and lift, sliding those arms out to the side and then up and overhead. Mindful if that causes any distress in the shoulder, you don't have to lift them all the way up, and exhale, lowering those arms back by your side. And then one more time, inhaling to lift the arms, sliding them up the floor, and then exhale and bring it back. Then as you bring the hands back, we'll start now to inhale and lift the arms straight up, above, over, off the floor, and then up towards the floor behind you without sliding up the side. And exhale and bring the arms back by your side. And as you do this, notice what's happening in your back, breathing in to lift the arms up, creating a little or maybe even a lot of arching in the spine, and exhale to bring it back down. And mind you, you can still keep your eyes closed if that feels nice. We're not doing anything very complicated here. And inhale one more time to lift the arms up. And exhale to bring them back down. And then Cipollino will have to move for just a moment. We're going to squeeze the knees into the chest. And as you hug your knees into your chest, take a moment to gently rock from side to side, letting your knees point up towards the ceiling as you rock on your lower back with those feet kind of dangling down towards the floor. As you hold here and as you continue to move, stay present with your breath. So long inhales filled with gratitude, long exhales giving out that gratitude. And then draw your hands behind the thighs and lift your feet a little higher and start to rock higher up on your spine. And that might feel quite a bit different here. Breathing in and breathing out. And then slowly come back into the center. And extend your legs all the way long down the mat. So very long legs. And let your feet be slightly flexed. So the toes will be slightly pointing up towards the ceiling, but definitely not rigid. And then lifting your arms back up and overhead, and grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand. And begin to pull your left wrist over to the right side. And we're going to keep the body on the floor as we slide. And then take your legs and kind of draw them together and slide them more to the right side. So kind of making yourself into what I like to think of as kind of like a half moon here, or a banana shape, or a croissant shape. Something little, lots of lengthening going down the left side of the body. And a sense of flexion, like squeezing on the right side. Holding here, breathing here. Feel free to open your mouth to move the jaw around as you're exhaling. Breathing in. Then as you exhale, come back through the center and start to take it over to the other side. So sliding your body along the floor. As you reach your left hand, pulling it to the right, pulling the right hand over to the left side and sliding the legs over to the left. So now we get that big lengthening going down the right side as we get that scrunching on the left side. Holding here and breathing here. And seeing yourself doing this. So you're watching yourself, witnessing yourself on the mat, turning your body into this curved shape. Breathing in. And as you exhale, come back into the center and draw your right knee in towards your chest. So hug that knee in, and then use your left hand to guide your right knee over to the left side. Open out the right arm out to the side, and your chin could be facing the ceiling or facing to the right. You can use your left hand to press that right thigh down for a little additional pressure if that feels nice for you. But tonight's all about like not putting too much pressure on yourself. So only do that if it feels good. Breathing into the right side of your body, directing your breath to that, watching yourself as you turn yourself into a little bit of a spinal twist. Breathing in and breathing out. Breath in, breath out. Start to come back into the center. And then take your right arm underneath the right leg and guide your right knee towards your right shoulder. And use your left hand to press your left hip downward. Circle at your right ankle. Point and flex your right foot. Holding here, breathing here. Taking another breath. And then as you exhale, extend your right leg all the way down. Hug your left knee just gently into your chest, straight. And then using your right hand, guide your left knee over to the right side. Open your left arm out to a T, chin facing the ceiling or facing to the left side as you press your right hand gently, but maybe firmly into your left thigh. Holding here and breathing here. Directing your attention to the space between the ribs on your left side. Maybe, once again, opening the mouth as you exhale, just to release the jaw, move it around. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking another breath. And as you exhale, coming back into center and sliding your left forearm underneath your left thigh and drawing that left knee towards the left shoulder. As you bring your right hand onto the hip and gently press down as you squeeze that knee and circle at that left ankle, point and flex the left foot, moving the jaw around if you're called to do so. And then coming back into straight arms. Lift your arms all the way back up overhead. Reach your right hand up and then the left hand. Take another breath. And as you exhale, draw your knees again in towards your chest and gently roll to one side. And as you roll to one side, you might prefer to have a blanket or towel underneath you to support your knees. Inhale for cow pose and exhale for cat. And if your lower back is bothering you, just do the cow and neutral instead of cow and cat. And as you do this, you may feel like you'd like to add some other movements. So please do. I invite you to close your eyes and move in a way that your body takes you, not overthinking it. Stay present more with your breath and less with movement of the body, letting your body decide where it wants to go. So that might be flaring the ribs from one side to the other, might be kind of getting into a little child's pose, might be coming forward a little bit, could be looking over your shoulder to one side of the body, other side, might be circular movements like a figure 8. So take a few more breaths, doing whatever it is that is calling to you. And notice, watch yourself as you do this. Appreciate all the different movements that your body can make on its own. Watch yourself moving, staying present with the breath. And then find your way into a wide knee child's pose. So bring the knees as wide as your mat and reaching your seat as far back as it will go. If your seat doesn't go as far back as you'd like it to, and you do have a towel or blanket, you could place that behind your seat and sit on it, bringing a little height. Take your hands way out in front of you, trying to lengthen as much as possible, and turn your palms to face up. If that's causing any pain in your shoulder, of course, bring the palms back down. Let your forehead rest on the floor, taking deep breaths in, and add any small movements. You might like to do a little rocking movement at the side. You might like to shake the head gently. You might like to exhale a couple of times through the mouth. Notice yourself. Watch yourself. Do you feel comfortable in this space? Take another breath in. And as you exhale, come back into your table position. Bring your hands to the floor. We'll move through a moving threading of the needle. So bring your knees just a tiny bit wider than they normally would be and walk your hands closer to each other. Inhale and lift the right arm out and up and look at it as it lifts up. And as you exhale, slide your right arm underneath you to the left side without stopping. And then inhale and lift back out and up. Take that whole exhale to slide underneath you. And one more time, and this time when we slide under, we will hold. So as you slide that right arm underneath you to the left side, bring the right shoulder to the floor, the right side of your face to the floor. And decide what you'd like to do with your left hand. It can stay right where it is. It could slide up the front of the mat. It could lift up if you want a little bit more stretch in the thoracic spine. And whatever it is that you're doing, try and reach your right fingertips as much over as possible and use the floor to reach your right side to the right as you kind of get that lengthening into the shoulder blades. So as the more you press into that floor, you can sort of slide the shoulder blade out. Breathing in, separate your feet if they've come together, check in with the hips that they're pretty much in the center. Close the eyes or soften the eyes. Taking one more breath here. As you exhale, slide your left hand back underneath you and then inhale and lift the right arm out and up. And as you exhale, come back into table. Do a little cow neutral, cow cat, or rock the hips gently, or circle at the hips. Anything that would feel really nice for you in this moment. And then when you're ready, you'll do the same thing to the left side. So we'll inhale and lift the left arm out and up, trying to keep the hips right there in the center. And as you exhale, just slide that left arm underneath you to the right, and then inhale and lift it back out and up. Exhale, slide underneath, and this time we'll hold on the next slide in. So inhale and lift. And as you exhale, slide, bring the left shoulder to the floor, reach the left fingertips really actively towards the right. Whatever you did with your left hand before, do with your right. So it might be underneath the shoulder, might be sliding up the mat, might be lifting up towards the ceiling, whatever you like. Feel that sliding movement in your left shoulder blade now as you press your arm into the floor, but try to kind of slightly rotate your trunk into the left side. holding here and breathing here. Separate the feet, check in with the hips, open the mouth, close the eyes, sink your shoulder into the floor. Take 2 more breaths here. Bring your right hand back underneath you and inhale to lift that left arm back out and up, and exhale. Bring both hands back down. Start to walk your fingertips forward and tuck your toes under and lift up into downward facing dog. And think of down dog right now as being a pose in and of itself rather than something that we have to move in. You can, of course, move in it if you feel called to. But you might want to just hang out here for a second, bending the knees slightly, reaching the seat up and back to lengthen the spine, and gazing on the floor just underneath your nose so that your ears are kind of right alongside your upper arms. Check in with your breath. Let your witness see you in this pose. So watch yourself being here in your down dog. Inhale and come forward to a plank pose. And as you exhale, just let your knees drop down and slowly let the rest of your body come to the floor. So no chaturanga, no challenge, just nice and easy to the floor. Take a moment to rock your hips gently from side to side. And bring your hands not directly underneath your shoulders, but slightly above your shoulders onto the floor. Try and keep your elbows kind of hugging into the side of your body and let your lower body be very relaxed. Toes easy, tucked under, or untucked, whatever feels good for you. When you're ready to, start to lift the chest a little bit off the floor using the arms, and then release down. So I like to usually lift up on an exhale. So let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, gently pushing in, not even lifting the elbows off the floor, and then inhale to release back down. Exhale to push up, extending in your upper mid back, and inhale to release down. So we're not creating any effort in the lower body. We're simply lifting to extend through the thoracic spine, not even so high that you feel any pulling in your lower back and lowering down. Let's do 2 more, just like that. Exhaling to lift up, but if you did so on an inhale, that's fine. And lower. Push up to lengthen and come back. Tuck your toes under and sit back for a moment into a closed knee child's pose. And then find your way into downward facing dog again. And here, if you'd like to pedal your feet, please do. A little more active down dog, maybe even moving your knee in towards the midline. Shake the head gently, breathing in and breathing out. And start to pedal your feet now all the way towards the front of the mat. And when you get to the front of the mat, grab hold of your opposite elbows. Bend your knees slightly, and then let the weight of your arms begin to pull you more down. Lift your seat, try to lengthen the legs, shake the head gently, release the neck. The neck be very relaxed. Taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release and slowly roll up. Take a moment to fix your clothes, hats and gloves and everything. Good. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale, bring your arms back by your side. And please feel free to move with closed eyes. Inhale, Lifting arms out and up. And exhale. Release that back down. And one more time, inhaling to lift. Lift your chin. If your eyes are open, look to your thumbs. And exhale. Release down. Inhale, lift the right arm only. Lift it as high as possible. And as you exhale, just let that drift over to the left side. Direct your breath into the right side of your body. And just as we did from the floor, start to let your right hip veer more to the right, creating another little half moon here. Inhale, back through center. And exhale, release that down. Inhale, lifting the left arm up. And as you exhale, leaning into the right side. Hold here, breathe here. As you exhale, begin to let that veer over to the left side. Creating that half moon, eyes opened or closed, and breathing with gratitude. Breathe the gratitude in. See yourself moving in this shifted half moon kind of pose. Inhale back into center and exhale, release. Inhale, lift arms out and up. And as you exhale, bend the knees slightly and swan dive over the legs. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, drawing the navel gently towards the spine, slowly begin to roll back up, taking the whole time and feeling as much as available to you, the sensation of moving through each spinal joint. Inhale, lifting arms out and up in gratitude to this amazing structure that we are. And as you exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale and slide your hands up the legs just above the knees. And as you exhale, lengthen the spine, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale again. And as you exhale, come to stand in your mountain pose. Inhale, lift arms out and up. And exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, lifting your arms alongside the body, reaching the fingertips back and lengthening the spine. And then as you exhale, release. And then inhale, lift the arms all the way out and up. And exhale, bring the arms back by your side. Trying to keep the hips facing forward, inhale and lift arms out and up. And as you exhale, rotate from your shoulders to the right side. Hold here, breathe here. Ground your feet into the mat and pull up from the navel. Keep the hips reaching forward as the shoulders turn maybe a little more with each exhale. Inhale, lift both arms back out and up. Gaze upwards or just lifting your chin, and exhale, keeping the hips facing forward, we rotate to the left. Breathe in, feel like you're getting a little taller each time you inhale. As you exhale, perhaps there's a little more space to rotate from your shoulders. Keep the shoulders soft, but really press all of your toes into the floor. Taking another breath in and exhale. Inhale, lift both arms back out and up. And as you exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to step the right foot back. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. And exhale, bring the knees to the floor and sit back for a child's pose. Reach those fingertips way out in front of you as you breathe into the underarms. And as you exhale, walk your fingertips back towards your knees. Inhale, lifting up onto your knees and tucking your toes under as we grasp upwards to the ceiling. And then exhale all the way to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. And exhale back to child's pose. One big breath here. Exhale, walk the hands back towards your knees and inhale, lift up to your Bali pose, but think of it as reaching to engage yourself into this white light of gratitude. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Start to pedal your feet and pedal them all the way towards the front of the mat. Inhale to a flat back and exhale and release. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way out and up, and exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to step the left foot back and exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank and exhale once again to a child's pose. One big breath in. As you exhale, walk your fingertips back towards you and inhale to Bali pose. Exhale to downward facing dog. And one more time, inhaling, coming forward to plank. Exhale, child's pose. One big breath. Exhale, walk hands back. Inhale, lifting to Bali. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. And once again, pedal your feet all the way to the front of the mat. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale and release. Inhale, sweep arms all the way out and up. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, your right foot back. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. And as you exhale, come back into a wide knee child's pose. And do whatever would feel nice for you with your hands. As you reach your sternum down towards the floor, and either arms are out in front, and you could bend the elbows and give yourself a little squeeze on the shoulders if that feels nice. You could bring your hands directly underneath your forehead with your elbows out to the side as you lower your sternum to the floor. You could slide your hands behind you and let your shoulders just cascade forward. Find whatever it is that feels best for you. And once you get to that space, watch yourself, taking care of yourself. Watch yourself choosing the position that feels best for you in this moment. Start to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and slide your legs out in front of you, bringing your feet together with your knees apart. Sitting up fairly tall here, we'll come into a variation of pigeon pose right away. So bring your left leg over your right and then slide the left knee out to the side. And by the way, you can do this from a lying down position, of course. So if you're doing it from this position, you'll bring your right shin more to the center, flexing your right foot. If you have a block, then you can grab your block and place the block either in front of your right knee or in front of your right shin. If you've done this many times before, you know where you'd like to place it. If you don't have a yoga block, just simply stack your fists right on top of each other and rest your forehead on those stacked fists. If neither one of these is comfortable, please feel free to come to lying down with your right ankle over your left thigh, and you can lift your left thigh up. So whatever is best for you to get this position. As you hold here, start first with seeing yourself. Notice what your witness is thinking. Let that witness be with you as you hold this pose and settle into this pose. And once again, giving yourself this moment to appreciate and soften and be here. And then check in with your breath. Think back to that one thing, that first thing that popped into your mind when you thought about being grateful this evening. Bring your attention to that. Notice different parts of your body that may still be holding some tension or energy. And see if each exhale can just soften a little more, invite the softness, be attentive and soft at the same time. Breathing in and breathing out. Open the mouth, move the jaw around. If you find that your monkey mind is on fire, then remind yourself to breathe in. Inhale that gratitude. And as you exhale, share that gratitude. Begin to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, lifting the chest up. Move your prop to the side if you have one, and then bring your feet back together again with the knees apart. But this time, slide your feet a little further out in front of you. Begin to reach forward towards your toes as your elbows come outside your shins. Coming forward, breathing in and breathing out. And how far you fold forward is really individual. So if you're really far forward, that's fine. But if you aren't very far forward, you're probably still getting the sensation that we're looking for here. Let your witness see you. This pose is called Tarasana, star pose. Witness yourself being a star. Begin to slowly lift back up. Slide your feet back in closer. And then fold your right leg over the left. Take your right knee out to the side and shift the left shin into the center. And if you're lying down doing this from a figure four, then just bring your left ankle over your right thigh. If you have a block, you can bring that, or just stack your fists on top of each other as you come to fold forward, wherever it is that feels like the space that's right where you want to be. And as you hold here, think to yourself all things that come to your mind that fill you with gratitude. The people in your life, the food on your table, the purpose that you have each day. The caring, the sharing, the clothes on your back, the fresh water that you drink. The quiet, the joyful noises, the isolation, but also the contact. Begin to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and move your block or prop off to the side and come back to lie down on the mat facing up. We'll set up for a bridge pose. So if you do have a yoga block and you might like to do a supported bridge here, whether you're doing supported bridge or not, we're going to bring the ankles directly underneath the knees and give ourselves about 2 fist distance between the feet. If you do have a yoga block, you might like to bring it nearby, handy in case you'd like to use it. We'll start to lift the hips up on an inhale or an exhale. And you can hold your bridge. You can have your arms by your side. You could interlace your fingers underneath you. Or if you have a yoga block, you might like to slide that underneath. If you don't have a yoga block, but you have a towel or blanket, you could also fold that up and place that underneath you if you'd like a more restorative bridge this evening. If you are in the mood for a more active bridge, you might like to sort of lift and lower a couple of times from there. Follow your own body. Make any small movements, especially if you are holding a supported bridge, perhaps shrugging shoulders into the floor. Let the muscles of your face soften. That space between your eyes open up. If you haven't already, begin to lift back up again. Move your prop off to the side. Keeping your knees bent, just touch your knees closer together and bring your feet as wide as your yoga mat. And your hands could be on your body or your arms might be out away from your body with your palms facing up. Hold here, breathe here. Watch yourself lying down on the mat. Then gently start to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And no rush to this, so take your time. Breathe in that gratitude and breathe it out. Slowly come back into the center and hug both knees into your chest. Then both of these knees, you're going to take yourself and rock all the way over to your left side. Place your left hand onto your right thigh and inhale and lift your right arm all the way out and touch the floor to the right side. And your chin could be facing the ceiling or facing to the right side. So as you hold here, stacking your knees and your hips on top of each other, quite likely that your right shoulder is nowhere near the floor, which is fine. Just holding here. Each exhale might bring you a little closer to the floor. Draw yourself back into the center and take a moment if you need to do a little rocking movement from side to side. And start to roll yourself all the way over to the right side. Let your right hand press into the left thigh and inhale and lift that left arm all the way out and up. Holding here, breathing here. See if that left shoulder can soften in the direction of the floor without creating any requirement for it to do so. Watch yourself as your body softens into the poses. And then coming back into the center. And as we come back into the center, we'll begin to set up for meditation. So you might like to do the meditation in some shape of shavasana, with the legs long, arms by your side, or knees bent, hands anywhere on your body. But you may also prefer to be in a seated meditation spot. So if that's the case, please feel free to set yourself up. And as I mentioned before, you might like to have yourself up against a wall for a little support if you are in a seated position. If you have yoga blocks extra, or towels or pillows, you might like to bring them underneath your knees if you are in a seated position. If you have a sweatshirt or extra blanket or something that you want to put over yourself, you might like to do that. And please know that should you happen to sort of doze off a little during this practice, that's okay. So giving yourself just another 30 seconds or so to prepare for meditation this evening. We're going to go on a little walk on our meditation tonight. So from whatever position that you're in, whether you're lying down or seated, allow your eyes to close or your gaze to be soft. Check in one more time that you are in a position that feels easy to be in, attentive but not rigid. Find yourself on your mat. Watch yourself from someplace nearby, in front of you or to the side. Watch yourself on the mat. Notice the thoughts that come up for you as you look at yourself on your mat. And some of them may be a little less than kind. You may have thoughts about yourself in some way, physical, mental, emotional. And just for now, take a deep breath and exhale. Look at yourself and say to yourself, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be loved. May you be free from pain and suffering. and think about a pathway. It might be the street that you normally walk on near your house. It may be a pathway in the woods. It might be a beach. It might be a country road. Pick a path that you'd like to walk on and begin to walk that path. Watch yourself walking down that path with ease, confidence, happiness. And as you walk down this path, you find yourself running into someone who loves you very, very much, that you love very, very much. It could be a friend, it could be a child, it could be anyone. First person that comes to your mind that you love very, very much. Turn to that person. Maybe even give them a socially distant hug. Have a little chat with that person. Talk to them about how much they mean to you. And then tell them you have to get going, but before you get going, tell them, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish for you to be free of pain and suffering. And bow to them. And start to continue your walk. Now, as you walk down that pathway, you come in contact with someone who has shown you an enormous amount of love without asking for anything in return. In the Buddhist practice, we call this the benefactor. Might be a teacher, might be your parent, might be a grandparent, might be a mentor, someone at work, might even be a very close friend who's shown you a pathway, shown you how to improve yourself without asking for anything in return. Let this be the first person that comes to your mind as your benefactor. Turn to them and thank them for the gifts that they have bestowed upon you. The knowledge, the assistance, the support. Bow to them, saying that you have to get back on your journey. But before you do, tell them, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish for you to be free of pain and suffering. And you bow to them and you continue on your path, whatever that path is. Might be at the beach, a country road, on your street. The sun might be shining, or it might be raining, might be snowing, might be a cool breeze, it might be hot, might be cold. And as you continue your path, you find yourself confronted by someone that you actually don't like very much. Someone who's perhaps been rude or mean or nasty to you. Someone who's hurt your feelings or broken your heart. Let it be the first person that comes to your mind that fits that description. And although you'd prefer to cross the other street, you stay. You stop the person and you say to them, may I have just a moment of your time? I know we haven't always had the most easy of relationships, but I want you to know that I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. And I wish you to be free of pain and suffering. And as that, you bow to that person and you continue your journey. And as you continue to walk, you find perhaps a nice bench or a beach blanket or a big stone, something that you can sit on. And you sit there for a moment or two, thinking about the 3 people that you've run into, and breathing in, breathing out. Noticing how you're feeling physical in your body, how you're feeling in your mind, how you're feeling in your heart. Breathing in and breathing out. And then, because it does get dark earlier, you decide it's time to get back to your space. So you turn back and start walking back the pathway to your space. And as you walk back, you run into that person that you didn't like very much. You pause again and say to yourself, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish you to be free of pain and suffering. You continue to walk back towards your space, walking. And again, you come upon the benefactor, that person who selflessly helped you, gave to you, supported you. And you pause again for a moment to say, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. And I wish for you to be free of pain and suffering. And you leave and continue to walk back down the path towards your space. And as you're walking, you come again upon the person that you love very, very much. You pause. You say again, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish you to be free of pain and suffering. And then you come back to your path, walking, until you find a pathway to your apartment, your house. You open the door. You Go into the space where you find your yoga mat. You come back to your yoga mat and you look at yourself. You witness yourself. You see yourself sitting there or lying there. And let yourself say to yourself, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish you to be free of pain and suffering. Holding here for a little longer. Any time that you notice your mind traveling someplace else, return your focus to your 4 wishes. To have peace, to have happiness, to have love, and to be free of pain and suffering. Begin to bring your hands together and gently, slowly rub your hands together. Start to warm them up, moving your hands a little faster. And bring your hands over your eyes, gently resting them in front of your eyes. Breathing in the gratitude. As you're breathing out, sharing the gratitude. Slide your hands down your face, down your neck, down your shoulders. And then bringing your hands, one fist inside the other, and placing it just below the navel. Sitting up tall as you press the palm into your lower abdominal area. Breathing in. And as you exhale, gently bow forward. Coming back. And if you are lying down, either bringing your hands in front of your heart or just holding your hands, one hand on your heart, one on the belly. If you're in a seated position, you can do one of those or bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Take a moment to be very grateful to yourself for showing up for this practice this evening. We'll seal our practice with the sound of Om chanting 3 times, joining or just listening, taking an easy breath in. Om. Thank you all so, so much. I'm so, so grateful for all of you. Namaste.